Hey, boys in the middle, are we excited? Yeah! Teeter, I didn't hear that. Are we excited? Yeah! That's right! Those are my 8th grade leaders right there in the middle. Welcome to, and thank you so much for coming to our CMS Athletics Day. I know that this has kind of been confusing, and you're probably still confused on what's happening today, where kids are going where, and how you're shuffling and making it work. But I promise it's going to be worth it. The guest speaker from the Positive Coaching Alliance met with our coaches this morning, and it was an amazing hour. An amazing hour of really getting everybody on the same page about the importance of athletics in our children's lives. I hope today that the kids walk away with going, hey, you know, this is my role, this is the attitude that I'm going to bring. And then I really hope tonight at 6:30, the guest speaker is just going to be amazing. And I hope to see all of you guys back here as a family to really get some tools and strategies about as a parent and being a parent of an athlete. These people are professionals that travel all over the world doing this, working with top collegiate and professional athletes, and a ton of research behind it. So I'm really excited to bring them to Moffat County School District. So if you don't know me, I am Sara Linsacum. I am the Craig Middle School Athletic Director and Assistant Principal. But man, I knew everybody this year, and that was really exciting to see all your faces. I will not be on maternity leave this year, so that will be great. But most of you kids noticed I got a little boo-boo, huh? Got a little boo-boo. I don't know what happened. I really don't know what happened. So I don't have to repeat this. Ran 12 miles on Tuesday, took off Wednesday, woke up, couldn't walk on Thursday. So I don't know what happened. But it's not going to be that bad, and I'll be running by next week, so you guys don't have to worry about that cross-country, kids. I'll be back with you. There's been a little confusion, but that's okay, around what we offer at Craig Middle School. So for 6th graders, we just offer cross-country and wrestling. Okay, so for 6th graders, those are the only 2 sports we offer. Other than that, everything is 7th and 8th graders. Okay, as you know, and I'm probably getting used to, that Mrs. Linsacum's a little over the top when it comes to organization. And communication. That's what I really strive to be good at. So we have a couple places that you can always find everything. The first thing I do is I send out an AD newsletter. So every Sunday night, usually very late at night, or Monday mornings, you get an athletic newsletter. Sometimes it's just halted because I'm waiting on some information for those week's events. But in there, it just reminds you about what events are going on. It's just kind of a quick little reminder about things that are coming up. You also can always go to the website. So we do have a new school district website. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but it works pretty slick. On my athletic page, so if you go to moffatsd.org, okay, you go to Craig Middle School, it's going to take you to the Craig Middle School main page. You're looking for the athletics, the words athletics, click on them, all the sports schedules. Everything from football to track are posted on there. Literally, they should stay the same except with maybe in addition to a couple basketball games. But other than that, they're pretty much set for the year. So you can find those on there. You can find all of the forms. So I get a lot of questions about what forms do I have to fill out. We do an online waiver. So you don't have to fill out a big packet about contact information or anything like that. You click on the waiver, you read all the stuff, you sign at the bottom, you do parent contact information, you put your insurance information in there. It's pretty slick. Once you do that, for the 17-18 school year, it's done for the whole year. You don't have to redo it for basketball, you don't have to redo it for track, wrestling. It's done. So you just get online in your own time and fill that out. I do have computers out here, and my secretaries will be here at 12 o'clock if you need help finding any of that information. Also on the website, there are physical forms. And then if you're going to TMH, They do have another consent form. I don't have really control over any of those kind of things. They're just PDF files that they want you to fill out. I'm assuming when you take your kids down there today that they can, you can fill out all that there. They should have copies of those kinds of things. Also on the website, I'm trying to think what else there is on there. Schedules, information, my newsletter, you can always access it from there. So it's just kind of your go-to shop to find anything and everything that you need for your kids. All of the sports requirements that the coaches will be handing out today, I'll have them all uploaded on there, just in case you're like, oh, I don't remember the policy on this, or the handbook that's in your hand, all those things will be up on there. If you cannot make it to tonight's presentation, we also have Mr. Scranton and Mr. Heafy over here, those guys. They will have the presentations uploaded on the website. As parents, you have a parent consent form that says that you agree that this is your role in sports and athletics at Craig Middle School. So you'll have to initial beside that and sign off on the bottom. You probably want to watch the parent presentation before you do that. And then the Facebook page. So we do have a CMS Athletics and Activities Facebook page. I always post the newsletters and anything kind of cool and fun and exciting on there. So at CMS this year, as you'll notice, you really will want to read that student handbook. There are new things in it. Last year I kind of stepped into this role, left things as is, but we really cleaned it up. The coaches have a handbook this year, and we're going to really try and stick to that. So at CMS, our athletic mission is Craig Middle School aspires to be an outstanding educational and athletic organization that provides a high-quality experience for every athlete. A high-quality experience is one in which every athlete is coached using the principles of positive coaching. So the Positive Coaching Alliance is what you're going to hear about tonight, and the kids are going to have a presentation today, and the coaches have already committed to following those principles. They're going to have fun. That's why we do sports, right? Have fun at practices and games. Feel like an important part of the team regardless of their performance. Okay? What I hate to hear, guys, and breaks my heart is this idea of, I'm not the best player as a 7th grader. That's okay. That's okay. Be a part of something bigger than yourself. Develop your skills, work hard, and you will get better. Your teammates need you. Every person is an important piece to that puzzle. Learns life lessons that are valuable beyond the playing field. The reason Mrs. Linsacum is so organized and likes to communicate, wakes up at 5 o'clock in the morning and all those kinds of things, is because I had great coaches and great parents that really pushed me to be like that. You're going to learn the skills, tactics, and strategies of the game and improve as a player. Everybody's at a different spot. The job of the coaches is to grow you from where you're at. We recognize that coaches are the people who most directly make this all possible. It is our goal to provide every coach with the tools to succeed as a positive coach. We are committed to creating a positive culture which coaches, parents, fans, officials, and athletes work together to achieve our mission. So we just talked about what the athletes have to have filled out. So like I said, they have to have a current sports physical. They have to have their waiver, their online waiver filled out. And you can go back and forth if you need to. And they have to have a fee paid. So per sport, it's $40 per sport, $15 for free and reduced. And then there's a maximum. So if you have a big family, you might meet that maximum and then not have to pay. Our bookkeepers are really good about letting you guys know that. And then in addition to that, you also will have the parent consent that you agree to follow those principles as a parent within our program. The other piece to that is, in a nice way I'm going to say this, we don't get a lot of our fees paid, unfortunately. Now, we're going to kind of be sticklers about this, and I was last year. If you don't turn in your uniform, there's a fee for that. If you don't pay your lunch account, there's a fee for that. So if you have fees on your account, I'll let you go to practice, but then you're not playing. So we have to get those fees cleaned up. Okay? So if you have any questions about those, the CMS's office is open. It was amazing once we added some of those fees this year. They got really cleaned up and uniforms turned in and those kind of things. We have brand new football uniforms this year, but I need them turned in at the end of the year so we can keep them nice for next year's kiddos. So chain of command. We did pretty good about this year. If you know me well enough, I really want the kids to work things out with their coach. So the first thing I will ask a student, a parent, if they come directly to me is, have you talked to your coach? Okay? And I'm going to send you right back to them. Now, if you talk to the coach, if the kid has talked to the coach, then I encourage you to talk to the coach and set up a time appropriate. So not after the basketball game, right after when you might be upset, not after they ran that 400, or not after the wrestling match. 24 hours. Don't go and talk to my coaches before then. You're elevated, you haven't had time to think it through, you haven't had time to even talk to your athlete. Give them 24 hours. If that still isn't working, then we can set up a meeting with myself, okay? Or email me and we'll figure that out. If you don't like my answer, then you can go see Mr. Grabowski, and then if you don't like that answer, it's the superintendent's office. So there is a chain of command, and I'm pretty good about following it, about just sending you back to the right resources. Because a lot of times I don't know what actually is happening in practices while I bebop around. So students will follow all expectations in the CMS handbook. So I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty, but it also is in your handbook about drug policies. If you get suspended, what the repercussions on those are as far as athletics. Unexcused absences. So this is one you want to kind of know. Thank you. This is one you want to know because I made a little change to this after some issues last year. So if you are not in school, if you are sick and you stay home all day, you cannot come to practice, okay? Now, if you have a dentist appointment at 2 o'clock, you go to your dentist appointment, you come back an hour later, perfect, okay? You can go to practice with a doctor's note. If you are gone at all during the day of an event, and it isn't a doctor's appointment, so if I want to go have this awesome birthday lunch because it's my birthday, and that's really exciting, but then I skip 6th hour, ooh, that's not good. You won't get to do that night's events. Okay, so you have to be in school to do those events. Now, I have given it up to the coaches on their discretion about missing more than 2 practices. Here's my stance. If Mr. Hafey over here decides that he is sick on Monday, and then on Tuesday, he wants to do some makeup work, and then he doesn't go to practice on those 2 days, I just don't think it's safe and he's prepared to participate in Friday's activities. If you commit to part of the team, you've got to commit to being there. So if people are going to be sick, and that's going to happen, but you need to communicate with your coach in advance, number 1. You need to be there. You need to have your schoolwork done so you're not having to do that after school, and be prepared and ready to be a part of that practice. So I'm leaving it up to your coach to make those types of decisions. We're going to go back one. Now, if you don't want to dress out for physical education, then you better not dress out for practice that night or events. Okay? Even though you're really pretty and you have your hair done or you have your tie on, you've got to get dressed out for PE and participate to be able to do practice and events that day also. And we kind of talked about suspension from school. You guys are student athletes, and very rarely do I have you in my office, which I love. But if you're there, you're letting down your team, yourself, your parents. So there will be some athletic suspension, some repercussions. Okay. Eligibility is a little different this year too. We're going to simplify it Monday to Monday. Done deal. Monday. So if I was a teacher, I probably wouldn't accept late work, but sometimes our teachers do that. So as a school, you have until Friday to get stuff turned in if your teacher allows you to do late work. What we're not going to have is Monday morning at 8 a.m. you go in and hand them stuff and say, hey, can you get this graded so I can be eligible this week? That's not fair to your teachers, is it? No. Okay, so you have to be responsible Monday to Monday. The eligibility list will come out on Monday, and it will dictate whether you're eligible for the following week. It is your responsibility to stay up on your grades. Your coaches shouldn't even have to tell you if you're eligible or not, because you can log in right to Infinite Campus and check those kinds of things, okay? It's all about being responsible and staying up to date on what you're supposed to be doing. If you're ineligible for 2 weeks in a row, Mrs. Linsacum's probably going to say, you know, I think it's time for you to focus on your schoolwork and getting your job done. And this basketball might not be what's best for you right now. Travel and transportation. Athletes are expected, we just have this protocol, to and from events on the bus. Now, as a parent, you can absolutely walk up to Coach Ager and say, I'm going to take my kid home. Just make sure signed, checked out with him. If, I'm going to pick on you all day. If Hayfie wants to ride home with Teeter, I'm going to say, Coach Ager isn't going to let that happen unless Coach Ager has got an email from Ms. Linsacum saying, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Hayfie said it's okay for Caden to ride home with Teeter. Guys, those have to be done in 24 hours in advance. I was nice this year, but I was getting text messages and emails days of events going, hey, can so-and-so ride with that? If I'm not on my email or checking those messages, I don't see them. So I really need parents to do those 24 hours in advance. All teammates are going to be part of a team. Even if I'm on the A team and the B team plays last, I'm going to stay and help them clean up. Okay. CMS practices are closed. We set the standard last year, and let me tell you a little bit on why we're taking this stance. If you would like to come and watch your student athlete, go talk to the coach, and we'll figure out why and what's going on. And I am not saying don't be a part of your athlete's life. What I'm saying is let them grow. Let them experience it. Let them have that experience with the coach. Okay? So practices are closed. Now, I am a stickler with my coaches about saying when practice is done, you're done. Okay? You have to be done at the time those parents are picking those kids up. If your child isn't out to you 10 minutes after practice time, then you just hike in there and figure out what's going on in the locker room. They should be done. And this is the same standard. After 15 minutes, my coaches are gone. They aren't going to stick around and watch who's out there playing basketball. So if something happens, those kids are unsupervised. Uniforms and warm-ups. So let's talk about that. I have tried to do something that I really hope helps your pocketbook. In your hands, you have an ordering form from Chaos Inc. Completely optional. So what Jeremy has done at Chaos Inc. and Melanie is they have designed us a CMS athletic apparel. Okay? There's a set of warm-ups that look just like the wrestling warm-ups that that parents have filtered through in the past. There are shooting shirts that look just like the ones we filtered through in the past. There's black shorts for girls and guys because we require those in track. There's a t-shirt, okay? And Mr. Browning has a cool deal with getting a free t-shirt. As a parent, if I have a 6th grader, what Mr. Browning has said is that he will keep those on stock. So it'll be the same apparel all the way through 8th grade, okay? So I might want to buy him big in 6th grade. I will never have to buy him again because my kids are going to keep track of them all the way through 8th grade. Okay? So that is our commitment to you. Coaches will not be coming up to you. Parents shouldn't be coming up to you and saying, hey, we're designing this for the basketball team. We're designing this as an extra thing. I'm really trying to save on your pocketbooks. One thing, all the way through. Okay? So that is that CMS. I just want to point that out. Middle school thing. That is how you order it. It isn't even done through the CMS office at all. It's done directly through Chaos Inc. Coaches today will be handing out sports-specific expectations. Sometimes those are just a little bit more defined than the expectations I have set in place. I get it. I get it as a parent. I have this little 6-year-old that chases butterflies at soccer games instead of kicking the ball, and I use this example because it's very applicable. I said, Tinsley, do you want to play soccer next year because you don't like to kick the ball? She's like, oh yeah, it's so great! You get to chase butterflies! And that's hard. It's hard for me to swallow. It's really hard for me to swallow. But guess what? It's not about me. It's not about what Tinsley's doing. Tinsley is having fun. And sometimes as parents, we don't know what to say or do, but when we get back down to it, and what the speaker is going to talk a lot about tonight is big picture and little picture. The big picture is Tinsley is having fun. The little picture is yeah, it'd be nice for her to want to kick the goal, but it is what it is. I want her to have fun. So by the time she gets to high school, she's still saying, soccer is fun. People don't ride my butt. My coach gets to coach me. Okay? It's hard. We want what's best for our kids, but we do have a role. So I want us to keep very, very mindful of those types of things. So tonight, the presenter is going to be talking about a second goal parent who focuses relentlessly on the big picture, helping their child take away the lessons that will help them be successful, contributing members of society. And in the process, a second goal parent is able to enjoy their child's youth sports experience and that will end all too quickly. If we can take this stance as parents, then I really think that our kids will enjoy sports so much better, and you'll be able to relax. You'll be able to enjoy them a lot more. So let's talk about today's kind of a little scoop on it. So after this, I'm going to tell you where you're going to go for specific sports. If you're a dual sport athlete, if you're going to try and do cross country and football, you need to pick one meeting to go to, and the meeting you don't go to, please go check in with that coach and say, hey, I'm planning on going out. We need to make a plan for that. Then at 12 and 1 o'clock, the kids, we're going to go out on the track and we're going to learn a warm-up. We have this awesome partnership with TMH. They have provided us with a doctor who says this warm-up, if it is done consistently, will help prevent injuries. So that is awesome. We're going to do that across CMS this year. Then we're going to come back in here to talk sports nutrition and sleep. Our guest speaker will be talking about being a triple impact competitor. And then after that, we have the concussion and baseline testing. So here's what that's going to look like. We only concussion test our football players, but parents, if you have a concern, please let me know, and then we can get a test ran on those kids. I've had a lot of questions about what if my child isn't here today. I haven't talked to Marshall, who is our sports trainer for the district, about what that will look like for makeup, but we will come up with a plan. So we're going to do that. The baseline testing, what we had talked about was doing some vertical jumps and those kind of things. We're really just going to, the concussion testing is going to take a lot of that for football. So if you're a volleyball kid or a cross-country kid or a cheer kid, or a basketball kid, and you got your concussion testing done, or you don't have to do that, you can go ahead and head to sports physicals at this time. Sports physicals, and I apologize that this wasn't communicated well. They are at TMH. We aren't busing kids down there. Kids can walk. It's really not that far. But they can walk down there if you need them to pick them up, that kind of thing. But we aren't busing them down there. I think I made the assumption that most parents would need to sign forms and be a part of that. I made that assumption. I apologize for that. So if they have a sports physical done, all that stuff is done, those kids can be done anywhere from 2:30 or at 3:30, okay? Then high school has their own kind of thing going on. Highly encourage you to come back as a family at 6:30 tonight to hear this guest speaker. Bring grandma. This is open to the community. Invite friends. It's going to be an awesome experience for our kids. Also at this time, I just want to put in a little plug that Officer Rimmer will be here talking to the families, and he's going to talk to the kids during sports nutrition. As you guys probably know, in the newspapers published a lot about the overuse of prescription pills in our community. And there's been a lot of direct correlation about kids getting injured and having addiction problems that have went all the way through middle school and high school, and then turn into larger addiction problems afterwards. So they're going to be here 10, 15 minutes just to put in a plug on resources and some education around that. And then also secretaries. I have 3 new secretaries, guys, at Craig Middle School, so please be patient with them. But they will be out here helping you with anything. So if you do have a sports physical, you can turn it in right here today. Or you can come turn it in later on. You can turn it in tonight when you come back, or you can turn it into the CMS office. We will start being open consistently on Monday. The waiver online, you can do that at any time. That parent contract, that can be turned in, and you can also pay your fees today. Secretaries will be here at noon. Okay, so with that being said, if you have questions for me, I will be here all day. I'm going to introduce my coaches. Right, Teeter? Yeah, okay. Okay, here we go. Football, can you stand up? So we have part of our coaches here. So my football coaches are Coach Ben Egger. He's also my 7th grade teacher who'll be coaching. So let me point this out about football. While I say I have 7th grade coaches and 8th grade coaches, they do everything together. Awesome collaborative group. They team up, they work hard together. So I have Coach Egger, who will be coaching 7th grade, and also Officer Rimmer, Coach Rimmer, and Coach Gordon will also be coaching, but they're on call today. So they'll be coaching with Coach Egger. I have long-time Coach Mr. Maniotis, okay, Coach Maniotis, and Mr. Smith, who's 8th grade science. He is also one of our coaches. So those are going to be my football coaches. If you're doing football, you will stay in here for the parents' meetings. You guys can sit down. Thank you. Coach Baxton. Coach Baxton is my cross-country and track coach. He's pretty awesome, and he said he's been running a lot, so you guys better be ready. So Coach Baxton will do cross-country meeting in room 222, which is right down the hallway to the left. Volleyball. My volleyball coaches are also working really tightly together. We're going to start off the season doing a lot of things together, and then they kind of split off into different gyms, bring them back together, all that kind of stuff. So, 8th grade coaches. I have Miss Coach Profumo and Coach Evenson down here are going to be my 8th grade volleyball coaches. My 7th grade volleyball coaches are Coach Ford and Coach Bogue. So it'll be great to have a lot of those coaches right in the school building. And then last but not least, the woman that knows everything about cheer because I know nothing. Coach Anderson is here for cheerleading. You guys are actually just going to meet in the first classroom down the hallway to the left. She is our cheer coach, so all cheerleaders will meet down there. So with that being said, thank you very much for coming, and I hope to see you tonight. You may just